And hello, all my fellow nerds. This is Oracle Nerd here, and welcome back once again to our Wonderland Remastered. Oh, sorry, I forgot about my avatar for a second. And all right, last time we found Gidget. She is not being herself, and we need to try to snap her out of it. That anyways, that fucker probably lasted a grand total of 30 seconds. Gizzo scowls, lets his gaze wander in his new environment. Yeah, I think this is one of the only times in the game where we actually play as a different character, kind of. Well, kind of being like the emphasis here. We don't actually play as Genzo in this one. That's a that's in like two different games, I think. Like it's like two different games that Carrot made, like texting the awkward ace guy that you had a crush on since high school, and Save the Last Dance. Yeah, those two are the only ones you actually play as Genzo. It's dim on the other side of the door. He nearly stumbles down the stairs in front of him. He lets out a string of four-letter words and throws a hand out against the stone wall to catch himself. Fuck this house. He swallows, clenches his jaw, takes a tentative step forward to seek out the next stair. It creaks beneath his weight. Fuck this playground of death. Fuck those fucking murder rabbits. Another. Fuck Miss Muffet and her fucking tea party. uh, Miss Muffet, huh? You're gonna regret those words later, Genzo. Another. And fuck Iggy for not ever fucking doing what I fucking tell him to. He makes it to the bottom with a huff. Then just stands there. Sighs. Readjusts his hat. And finally, no, don't fuck Iggy. He wouldn't like that. He, he rolls at his face and turns towards the environment instead. It's dark, it's danky, it's dank, it's dirty. A hallway lined with large cold stone. The heavy wetness permeating the air. Something dripping off in the distance. And bars punctuating the walls every 5 or 6 feet, like cells in a fucking dungeon. He whistles beneath his breath. Damn, do I hate being right all the time. The only light the only light drifts in from the small rectangular windows high up onto the walls and the ceilings. The moon bright and golden amongst the sea of stars outside. Charming. You could really do a lot with this place. He begins walking forward, dodging a few low-hanging spider webs to catch on his cheeks. Then taps a finger against one of the bars on his left, almost as though testing his durability. Gidget, Gidget, Gidget. Just what do you got down here, huh? He peeks through the empty cell beyond, gaze jumping between the puddles of stagnant water collected in the grout. What could be so egregious you'd need to lock it away like a plague-infected son of a gun? He resumes his forward amble, hands shoved in his pockets. Past cell after cell, each one as empty as the next, as dismal as the next. A sudden bone-chilling breeze curls around his legs and up under his coat, bringing him to a stop. He looks right, left. His face is white. Really hope I'm not about to be brutally butchered here in the next 30 seconds. Then continues. After about 15 hesitant steps, he nears the end of the corridor, a single final cell at its head, somehow darker and murkier than the rest. He moves towards it, nervous yet curious. This one is occupied. A shadowy figure sits inside the wall, barely visible amongst the surrounding gloom. Genzo curls his hands on the bars, peers inside, blinking. It sucks in his breath. Well, fuck me with a Jane Austen novel. Gidget! At the open door of his bedroom with the wince-worthy slam. Gidget, I need to talk to you. Only my voice shows off as I survey the perimeter. The room is dark. Though not for sleep, apparently, as Gidget isn't in her bed. Nor is she at the table. Nor is she anywhere in the entire room. I press my lips together. Interesting. Where else would she be at this hour? There's no sign of any Iggy's either. The room is empty still, to the point of ominousity, especially compared to the flurry of activity occupying the rest of the manor. I take a step forward, only for a sudden click of the door closing behind me to send my heart hurtling towards my voice box. I was followed by darkness, all of it eerily still. It takes me a solid 60 seconds for my heart to calm, my arm hairs to pull back over my skin. Damn door. I start towards it, then decide against it. No need to potentially draw attention to myself. Instead, I grope for a light switch on the wall. Where? There! The room goes bright, a soothing yellow light. Though it takes my eyes a few flustered blinks before my vision adjusts. I can see things better now, which does nothing except confirm the fact that Gidget is nowhere to be found. In 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 fact, the bed doesn't even look like it's been touched. The duvet is perfectly pressed, the pillows arranged just so. And across from it, the table has been laid out in for what looks like evening tea, though the tea itself has already been consumed. I bring my hands to my hips with a frustrated pout. So much for my great plan. Why does it seem like most of my plans end up failing horribly? Hell, most things I do in general. Flashes of Gidget run through my head, her face, brows furrowed, lip trembling. How many times have I seen her cry? How many times have I made her cry? All because I can't figure out how to say the right thing. Why does it feel like there is some kind of secret code to social interaction? I sighed, taking a moment to wander the room, gaze mindlessly scanning the furniture and the walls. Some more photos of her. All of those photos of her. It's just a tad unnerving. As I approached near my bookshelf, I noticed that one of the books is uneven. Sticking out from the other like a broken sticking out from the other like a broken piano key. Charlotte's Web. Now there's a book I haven't thought about in a long time. Curiosity gets the better of me. I reach out and pull the book in its front spot, only for the entire shelf to recoil from my touch with an earthy tremble. It shimmies, shakes, the books and bobbles on the shelf, rocking back and forth. Before shifting back into the wall and sliding to the right, leaving behind a dark hole in its wake. I stared at it in bewilderment, hand poised with the book still clenched between my fingers. Why does this always seem to happen to me? I poke my head inside. There's a moldy smell in the air. Before I can see it in the light from the room, the wall appears slick and lumpy. I make a face, but I don't see that much choice. At least not if I actually want to figure out what's going on here. So with a sigh of resignation, I place the book on the bedside table and start my trek down in the newly opened shaft. It's a strange tunnel, round almost, as though created by some large creature burrowing through the wall. And the walls themselves are rough, like eroded concrete, sticky with a kind of gelatinous substance that grows thicker the further I walk. I'm reminded vaguely of the sewers we used to explore as kids. Gidget in the lead with her little flashlight, round circle of light flickering to and fro in the darkness. As behind her, the four of us would peer anxiously through the gloom, a mixture of terror and excitement in our hushed voices as we pondered what we might find. The Gidget that had always taken my hand led me around the murky puddles, cleared the cobwebs in my path. But there's no Gidget to guide me this time. And more than once I feel my spine tingle in disgust at the feeling of something sticky against my fingers or slipping beneath my shoes. I'll find you, Gidget. The real you. Not this, whatever this is, you become. What in the world has turned you into? What this world has turned you into? No. What I've turned you into. The tunnel is so dim now I can barely see my hand from my face. When I look back, the small circle of spreading light looks miles and miles away, like a star against the black sky. I clench my jaw and carry on. It's colder now. A deep unsettling chill seeping into my pores and through my bones. My hair is heavy with it, my clothes like damp towels weighing me down. And when my hand reaches out next, my fingers catch on thread-like fibers that snag in my skin. I jerk back, scratch and claw at my hand to remove the offending substance. Only to walk face first to another, this one stretching across my cheeks and hair. God, fuck. They're all over me. I wipe at them in building panic, but even as I peer ahead, I see silvery outlines of more. They hang from the ceiling like ghostly curtains, stretched between the walls, forming dew-dipped patterns that glisten amongst the surrounding umbra. My heart is going out to overtime now. I wipe my eyes again and again. Keep it together, Iggy. Keep it together. I get my forehead a few good whaps with the heel of my hand. Wait, is that really called what it's called? Is that called the heel of your hand? Just call it your palm. It's your palm, not your heel. Oh, it's a is a heel? That's so weird. Then clench my fist and carry on. The cobwebs grow thicker the further I go, impossible to avoid. I constantly have to bat them away, yank them out of my hair, rip them from my clothes. My skin prickles with it, sending tendrils of panic up and down my arms and shoulders. They tighten in my lungs, making it hard to pull in air, even as my breaths come out faster and faster. Just keep going. Just keep going. I wrench an especially sticky piece of web out of my eyes, my lashes bristling with tears. One step, two, three. On that step, I nearly stumble forward. With a sudden dip in the ground, my foot goes down hard, sloshing into the inch-deep pool of stagnant water. Ugh. Ice cold moisture seeps straight through my shoes, soaking my socks, splashing up into my pants. I can't contain the whine of despondency that buzzes up between my lips. It's not to steal my attention from the webs, my gaze going to my new surroundings as I gingerly place my other foot into the water. It's wider now, a room of sorts. Same sticky substance dripping off the walls, ceilings in baseball-sized globs now, and cobwebs stretch breathtakingly large across the increased space. Water and moisture and muck permeate everything in sight. From the standing water currently icing my toes to the liquid dribbling down from the walls, collecting the webs, dripping from the ceiling. The chilling murk has infiltrated my chest now, goosebumps running up and down my arms, my teeth chattering. I start forward. My feet slosh with each step, shoes slick with slime, more webs. I try to avoid them as best as possible. Some of them are so thick they're practically opaque, layers and layers of sticky tendrils. But there are other shadowy shapes among them. Gooey round orbs hanging from the coiled sinews that would pulse that visceral rhythm. There's something disturbingly fleshy about them. I back away, bringing my arms against my cheeks as I feel anxious whirligigs dance up my spine. What is this? What am I doing here? I feel like dread grows, working its way into my belly and my chest. Something's not right. But there's a large shadow just ahead. A figure, bowed and shuddering. My instinctive urge is to move towards it. It wins out against my desire to retreat. Gidget? I don't know why I said it. How could that be Gidget? Why would Gidget be here? Yet some part of me knows. Now knows even as the shadow stops, twitches, and rises. Knows even as it turns around to look at me, its eyes yellow, gloomy in the dark. Oh, Iggy! You're here! Gidget, I came to find you. Let's get out of here, yeah? Hmm? I see her head tilts. Her eyes blink. Why would I want to leave? We don't belong here. None of us do. I take a step forward, ignoring the alarm bells going off in my head. Just look at this place has turned you into. Turned me into? A laugh. I can see your shoulders of a shadowy form tremble. This place has helped me achieve what I never thought possible. It's made me perfect. A pause. I see your eyes narrow into slits. But you wouldn't understand that. You've never understood anything about me, have you, Iggy? I understand enough to know that this isn't you. Enough to know that you have a life, a real life outside of this world of make believe. People who love you, a family. Giz's eyes go towards the ceiling, almost as though peering up at the world above our heads. Family, yes. I must create a family. What? That's not what I. Don't worry. I finally accomplished that too, no thanks to you. I see your face tighten, her brows curl. I finally settled down. Got in my house with a big yard, found someone to love me, to please me. Her eyes squeezed shut, as though in pain. Then she gives me a little grunt. I hear something splash in the water behind her. I take a step backwards in confusion, water sloshing against my ankles. However, Gidget just smiles, reaches behind her. When she strains next, she's holding one of those giant gooey orbs. The same ones I've been seeing hanging from the ceiling. It pulses and throbs in her arms, heavy and weeping as it drips thick sinews of muck across her skin and into the water. And now I have a family too. My mother would be so proud, Iggy. The perfect daughter. The perfect woman. The perfect life. I see something squirming and wriggling inside the orb. Oh, it's a tiny baby spider? Oh, yep, that's what the truth revealed. Why is it always gotta be spiders, man? Like seriously, anytime in horror, it's always dolls, spiders. Can't it just be a regular ghost, please? Just this once. At this moment, Gidget moves towards me, standing up all the way, taller and taller, and I see her lower half for the first time. It's become mutated and swollen, a giant fleshy abdomen poking out from the back of her purple dress. And from it on 8 titanic legs, each one thick and haired and sharp, so fucking sharp, cutting through the water like knives as she floats towards me. My eyes only nearly bug out of my head. Back. I scroll backwards so quickly I lose my balance and go down with a splat. My backside throbs from the impact, water seeping out to my clothes, my hair. But I still can't pull my eyes away from the abomination monopolizing my vision. Gidget curls her lips into a bone-chilling half-moon. I'll have so many children soon, once they hatch. I wasn't sure it would work, since I created them all, the dolls, but they did, Iggy. I can see tears glistening through the yellow glow of her eyes. And once I laid one, I couldn't get enough. I wanted more. A whole family, my family. And that's the power of this place. The power to make your dreams come true. Gidget! I can barely find my voice, my breath trembling on my lips. What have you done to yourself? Her lips twitch. Then I see her eyes snap back to a sharpened focus. I see. It still isn't good enough for you, is it? I'll never be good enough, is that it? She takes a menacing step towards me, long segmented legs clicking with the movement. That's not what no one is good enough for you, are they? This brings a smile back to her face, and for a moment, her gaze goes unfocused, hazy. You're just like my mother. A laugh, as though she watching something humorous play out her eyelids. A stupid bitch of a woman. Then her eyes snap back towards me. Stupid bitch of a man, unable to fuck the woman of his dreams. I attempt to crawl backwards as she towers over me, mucus like strands of oozing muck dripping off the egg, dripping off her arms. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't need you anymore. A giggle. It starts as a tiny trill inside her throat that grows and grows before bursting out of her lungs. Who needs you? Because you're nothing. Just a broken doll beyond repair. Why waste my time trying to have countless replacements, She holds out the egg, and one of the pulsing sinews dangling from the ceiling latches onto it, curling and coiling on the gelatinous mass. But don't worry, I do know something you'd be good for. Free of the egg, she brings her hands to her cheeks, grinning, stretching as she peers down at me. My babies will need food when they hatch. And I'd love to give them something fresh. Something in this must finally ping something in my brain, because in the next second, I bolt. I twist backwards, heart rate beating my ears as I scramble to my feet, water splashing, shoes slipping. I sprint towards the exit so fast I barely have time to dodge the hanging eggs and webs running. Fuck. Before I could do so much as the tunnel, Gidget is there. There and huge and looming over me like an impenetrable wall. Fast. Extremely fast. Faster than anything I could have imagined. I spin back around, feet nearly sliding out from under me as I change directions. Pulling the speed, willing to control back to my floundering legs. Where are you going, Iggy? Her voice sings behind me. Wouldn't you like to see them when they hatch? I bet they'll have your eyes. I go careening back across the room, slipping and sliding in the slot. Bending my way past the rows of glowing, throbbing eggs. There has to be another way out. There has to be something. But Gidget's already there in front of me again, like a cat in the night. She moves so silently I can't even hear her. Only jump backwards as her glowing eyes out from the darkness at me. Just think of how you'll be helping them, giving them nourishment they'll need to grow and thrive. Then you can be part of them forever, part of my family. I half tripped this time as I scrambled back towards the opposite wall. I could barely hear her, barely see, barely registering anything is going on around me. Simply screaming at my legs to keep moving, keep powering through the murk and muck. A flash of something to my left. I dodge right. I do a little hop skip as I narrowly avoid the hanging egg. I catch sight of the tunnel entrance again, out of the corner of my eye. I'm close. The coast appears to be clear. But even as I twist towards it, the momentum of my previous dash keeps me sailing forward. And before I can stop myself, I go flying into especially thick cluster of webs. Fuck. I tend to pull away, jerking my hand forward and free of the offending fibers. There's another right in front of it. The thick tendrils watching coil themselves around my wrist, sticky and tough between my fingers. I twist, tug against my shoulders now, clicking out to the claws of my shirt, stretching as I heave and strain, but thick, too thick, refusing to break and instead wrapping itself together with every wiggle. I tried kicking and wrestling and bouncing my flame, feeling my feet, but that just exposing my legs to sticky threads. And soon my knees and ankles are caught, limbs thrust out at awkward angles as my body sags and suspended in the air above the water. Tears bring the corner of my eyes as I continue struggling, continue squirming. Nothing works. I'm completely and hopelessly stuck. I hear my heart beat in my ears as I hang there. My head throbs with it. Panic rushing up from my belly and sending searing flashes of acid across the back of my tongue and throat. Oh, did someone get himself stuck? And here I was having so much fun with a little game. I hear her approach first, a gentle splash of water, the clicking of her legs. And then her eyes appear out of the darkness, gazing down at me, feeding on me. But all good things must come to an end, I suppose. And all that exercise can't be good for the babies. Gidget, the tears are coming freely now, leaking down my cheeks in a pool of my ears. Gidget brings her hands to my jaw, covering my chin. You've gotten yourself tangled up pretty good there, haven't you? Aww. She smiles, tilts her head. Gidget, my voice cracks, throat thick with phlegm. I'm sorry. My brows arc. I'm sorry for everything. Frown. What do you mean? I clench my eyes jaw tight. And when I open them again, a fresh veil of tears shivers across my vision. All the things I said, I didn't mean any of them. I was really fucking awful to you. Gidget says nothing this time, just staring down at me, her eyes unblinking. I liked you just the way you were, loved, the things we did together. But I was jealous. I said such horrible things to you. It made you feel like something was wrong with you. My voice shudders. But there's nothing wrong with you. There never has been. I blinked at the water, sending another cascade down my cheeks. It was me who was wrong for forever making you feel that way. Gidget's eyes begin to tremble. I'm so fucking sorry. The room goes silent, still. I feel Gidget's thumb quivering against my skin. Oh, Iggy, she says, her voice catching her throat. In the next moment, a stinging pain rips across my right shoulder. I let out a strangled gurgle of pain, my eyes shuddering in the sockets. Gidget's leg. One of them has stabbed straight through my shoulder. Gidget grabs a chunk of my hair, her hand wrenching it backwards and delay a grin. That was such a moving soliloquy. Drifted as if her leg being further, touching the opening and sending further jolts of pain up down my chest, arm, burning my brain. Are you really that conceited? Tilted her head to the side, pouring over me hungrily. That all you had to do was apologize, give me a little sob story, shed a few tears, then that would somehow fix everything? Another throws her leg. Well, newsflash, cherry boy. The world doesn't revolve around you. I spasmed, sputtered, drool bubbling between my lips. It hurts. It hurts so bad. Fuck, it hurts. Every one of my nerves feels like it's on fire, exploding across my shoulder and ripping and tearing across the muscle. Gidget talked about disinterest. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this too sexual for you? They grins. It is quite erotic, isn't it? The way you slide so easily. Phrasing! He pulled it like halfway out, harder. Then shoves it back in harder. The impact sends spasms through my body as it thoroughly cries out my lips. I bite down hard on my tongue, the taste of copper flooding in my mouth. I guess I ate up things and fucked you after all. How poignant! The giggle. I did say it already, didn't I? All of you think that yours makes you really rather. Grinning, driving her legs and her legs into the full now, wrenching it back and forth, almost it splattered of blood up and down my neck and chin, my cheek. My vision is starting to go hazy, fading in and out, conscious like a tickling pendulum. But tonight isn't just for you anymore. Turns down, I look at her neck, smiling. Like every night now I'm just in you. Close hard, I feel her teeth in my skin, pointed and sharp. It breaks a pain as they press into my throat. Mistress! Gidget pulls away with a jerk, her eyes going wide. I see Gidget's visibility. I visibly twitch. Cecil! She finally hisses. Hey, it's the man! Indeed, it is her cantankerous servant. Looking a bit worse for wear, for sure, but the unkempt nest of hair in his dingy state in his attire. Still sporting his pending scowl and air of unadulterated disdain. Next to him, Genzo takes a step back in fright, the color drained from his face. What the actual fuck is going on here? Gidget ignores him, laying on another hiss and yanking her legs out from my shoulder. She retracts her appendages, rears back. Why? Why is it whenever I finally have some peace, you're always there? Always there! She brings her hands to her head, fingers clenched in her hair. For once, Cecil cocks a smile, and he brings his hand to his chest with a sardonic flick. Because I like to serve. This just sends Gidget to even greater rage. Get out, get out, get out, get out! You will not take this away from me! This is what I want! This is what I've always wanted! She lets out her legs, sending a spray of blood, my blood, across the room. The thin line splashes on Cecil's cheek, and he glances down at it when it wins. Interesting. I don't remember anything about hatching a nest full of arachnoid infants from your list of childhood dreams. Gidget shrieks, then leaps. Cecil goes darting out of the way, rolling through the water as he avoids Gidget's threshing lens. Then pushes himself back up. He throws his feet with a tiny grimace. He pulls out a kitchen knife from inside his vest, wielding it in front of his face. Gidget takes a moment of distraction to run towards me, his face whiter than white and his eyes strained. Fuck eggs! His gaze goes from the gaping hole in my shoulder to the tear and snot-streaked face. He gives a hand to my forehead, pushing back the sweaty bangs. Stay with me, okay? I'll get you out of here. He pulls out a similar knife from his pocket and starts hacking away at the stringy fibers that were pulling in place. Back on the other side of the room, Gidget is reeling. Sculling first left and right, then left again, as she studies the draggled man standing on the web. You were never supposed to come back. I buried you away for good, for good! She shoots a leg out, which Cecil blocked with a well-aimed swing of his knife. The thing about the truth, though, isn't it? Hide it away all you want, but it always finds a way to dig its way back to the surface. The truth? Don't make me laugh! Another swing, another block. The truth is I'm happier than I've been in a long time. That everyone accepts me, everyone loves me. Not even my mother would be able to deny my accomplishments, to deny my perfection. But now you had to come and ruin it all! She rushes forward. Her body moves with a nigh invisible celerity to the opposite of walls in less than a second. Cecil very ready to escape her legs in time, flinging himself to the left just before the nearest tip would have impaled him. This music is giving me a lot of Kingdom Hearts vibes. I don't know why. It sounds like Kingdom Hearts for a moment. It's just missing that one tune, the dun 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 dun. You know that one. And Cecil barely manages to keep his legs this time, flinging himself to the left. Okay. He staggers back to his feet, wipes at a fresh set of scratches on his cheek. Happy? He scowls. That's a lofty word for someone who can't even bear to look at himself in the mirror. At this, Gidget twists back into his eyes flash. When was the last time you even left this little home you built for yourself? Hiding away in here. Are you too ashamed people will see what you become? That's not true, that's not true, that's not true! He just screeches and I see her start pulling, tugging, yanking at her hair. I love who I am. I love everything about myself. And then lean forward, she goes careening across the room. Cecil barely managed avoiding the flurry of her legs. He staggers, breath heavy, but he resumes his stance without saying, I don't remember the last time I saw you smile. Not those fake painted grins you give yourself. A real smile from deep inside. I see Cecil's eyes tighten, and his mouth twitch. Putting on those little acts every day, wearing your perfect doll mask, and while behind everything, you're dying inside. Gidget twists around as the very air around her seeming to warp and bend. Shut up! Why do you do it? Shut up! Why do you force yourself to become someone you're not? Shut up! When you know you'd be happier, when you'd be able to love yourself. Gidget moves her head back and wails and shrieks, because I have to! Then charges. This one happens too fast and too sudden and too furious. He fights forward, eyes wild, legs poisoned. There's a squelch, a deep, heady one. For a moment, nothing happens. Nobody moves. Nobody even blinks. Then a drip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Thick, heavy drops that punctuate the stillness. Cecil, no! Cecil is suspended in the air, head rolled back, arms limp. 4 of Gidget's legs are through his chest, like some kind of horrific cocktail skewer, holding him aloft. Soft and sagging and shuddering as rivers of blood traces his legs, drops from his shoes. Gidget's voice catches. I see her staring at him, bewildered. A flare of anger gulls from her face. Cecil? She gives him a shake. It is nothing but sending his limbs quivering and head bouncing. Cecil? Again and again. Now her brows are curling inward, her pupils trembling. No. Beads of water pool beneath her eyes. Giant salty droplets grow and grow. Grow until they become so heavy it cascades down her cheeks like waterfalls bubbling up between her lips. No, 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 no. She pulls him towards her, takes him into her arms, looks at him for a moment, then clutches him to her chest with a wail. It's a wail unlike anything I've ever heard, biting at my chest, a shudder crescendoing tremolo that steals the very air from my lungs, the joy from my heart. The wail is that she wails and she wails and she wails as though a part of her has died, as though a piece of her heart has been clawed in two. As she wails, she begins to change. I can't even quite describe it. Streaking almost. First her legs, showing up one at a time before simply falling off, like desiccated stalks crumbling to the ground. Then her body, that distended abdomen, deflating like a balloon. Wrinkled skin caving in on herself as her upper half sinks towards the ground. Lower and lower, her skirt billowing around her, ballooning out around her, sailing atop the water like a cloud, purple and shuddering as it descended to the ground. From the dark, cracked bits of parched skin, her own legs, her real legs, poked through, curled beneath her, sheltered by the torn flaps of her dress. It's Gidget, our Gidget, the one we thought we'd lost, sobbing, shaking, holding, gripping Cecil to her chest. Desperately tight, so tight I could swear for a moment they become one. Genzo and I can only watch as she kneels in the stagnant, murky water and wails. Cecil's frame hanging limp from her arms. Dude, poor Gidget, man. Like it didn't have to be this way, but it ended up being this way. Gidget carries Cecil body back through the tunnel. And once in her room, she lays him limp on top of her bed. He looks tiny, resting amongst the mountain of pillows. Beneath him, the duvet quickly becomes stained with blood, a brilliant red pool in the sheets. Gidget, I step away from Genzo's support, legs shaky. But Gidget doesn't look at me. Instead, staring down at Cecil, I see her arms trembling. Finally, she whips herself away, teeth clenched. She looks at me, looks at Genzo, and whirls around, gaze surveying the room. Then she growls. It starts small, so small that at first I don't even realize it's coming from her. Then it builds into a guttural groan that crackles and claws at her lungs and throat. She goes stomping towards the tea table. She gives it a single glance, then grabs the edge and shoves it over on its side. It gives a loud thud as it and the tea's fineries on top go crashing to the ground. Without missing a beat, she grabs one of the chairs, raising it over her head and slamming it down on the wooden mess again and again, warbled grunts pushing past her lips. Gidget? I start forward, but Genzo quickly stops me, a hand to my shoulder. Let her have her moment, bud. I swallow hard, but take a step back all the same, hands clasping in worry. Genzo seems to finish with the chair. She strains with the start, looks around. He goes sobbing towards the chest of drawers, letting out a barely restrained roar as she yanks it away from the wall. In the center of the ground, drawers half open, spilling clothes, gold-tinted accessories out across the floor. Now to the armoire. She flings the door open, grabbing fistfuls of clothes, laces, and fine dresses and blouses, and ripping them from their hangers, throwing them to her feet, tearing at the fabric. She pauses there for a moment, just standing amongst the chaos of clothes. Her fists clenched so hard that I can see her arms quivering. Then she takes off again. I'm not even sure if she knows where she's going at this time. But mid-tirade, she spots the mirror on the wall, stops, looks at herself. Then her face crumbles in on itself. Fresh wave of tears form a deluge down her cheeks. She brings her hands to her forehead, palms slapping against the skin. She spins with a sudden whirl, makes a beeline towards the desk, riffles desperately through the drawers, then emerges with a pair of scissors, marches back towards the mirror, stands there, staring, then lets out a good old cry of desperation, eyes going sharpened, starts to cut. It's patchy and jerky and erratic. One chunk. Two. She clenches her fingers around her, one clump after the other, chops against the swaths of it off to float to the floor. More and more. Until a golden pile is formed at her feet. All that hair. All those cloying honey tangles. Nothing more than a nest of cruel memories finally released. She doesn't stop until it's above her shoulders, tufts of it sticking out humorously in unkempt cowlicks. But it doesn't even enough. She starts to tear the dress, yanking and tearing at the bows and lace, snipping away great greedy gobfuls of her skirt, ripping the fabric between her fingers. Gidget! She stops, her hand trembling. She turns towards me, water quivering in her eyes. She sniffs, drops her gaze, and lets the scissors fall to the ground. I need to be alone for a bit, she finally says, voice small, so small. Of course. I feel Genzo's hand on my wrist, gently urging me towards the door. Come on, Nix. We'll regroup in the morning, yeah? I don't say anything, but I let myself be guided from the small room all the same. Although one last glance at Gidget, her gaze still pointed downward before Genzo pulls the door behind us. I don't know what to do, what to think. to the point where I find myself incapable of forming words, so I remained silent. Gidget leads me back down the stairs, gentle in his way, his fingers tugging my wrist. The Iggy dolls go into a panic once they reach the bottom, fretting over us, fawning over us. I'm led immediately back to my room, where a set of dolls tends to my wound, cleaning and stitching and gauzing it. All while I stare off at the far wall, my mind's somewhere else, somewhere far away. As I finish and start to leave, I notice Genzo peeking in through the door, his face clouded with worry. But he eventually lets his gaze fall. When I blink and look back, he's already gone. The room is quiet and dark around me, somewhat pleasant yet unbearable at the same time. When I hear a soft pitter-patters against the window, I glance over to see that it's raining. The water running soft revolts down the glass pane. I sigh and let my eyes flutter closed. Tired. I'm unbelievably tired. It doesn't take long before I drift off to sleep. Damn, that was a lot to happen. My God, honestly, oh gosh. All right. Well then, I think I'm gonna leave this video here for now. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.